Monsters have fascinated audiences for ages. From Godzilla to The Thing, whether they are larger than life or a creature from the unknown, the very idea of something insidious and destructive lurking out in the darkness has been the subject of countless stories. Mary Shelley's classic science fiction tale reshaped the idea of what being a monster could mean and took on a life far beyond its publication. Retold hundreds of times in film, Frankenstein stands as one of horror's most timeless characters.
Welcome to Bedlam Movie Night, the podcast where we dissect, deconstruct, and exhume films from the depths of horror, action, sci-fi, and beyond. I'm Ben Marlowe, joined by John Anderson. That's where you say hi.
Hello.
And tonight, we're throwing a switch on one of horror's greatest legends.
Yes. Welcome to another thrilling episode. Tonight, we're going to take you on a tour of one of horror's most iconic figures. Instead of doing a particular movie, we're just going to cover the character in general and how it showed up in different films over the last few decades and its origins. There's a lot of ground to cover here, starting with the novel to Universal Studios' immortalization of the story and into the various retellings, both modern and classic, of this character. Yeah.
We're doing the whole legend. I mean, freaking 200 years after it was alive.
Has it been 200 years? I guess
it's been 200 years.
1818 is when the novel was published.
Yeah,
right? That's
200 years. And I mean, It still holds up. I mean, it's literally in the dictionary.
I think it's older. It might be the oldest one because Dracula was late 1800s when it was published, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And The Mummy, I don't even think that was a novel. I think that was just a creation.
God, who knows with that one?
Yeah. As far as like the classic Universal monsters go, this is probably, like, as far as an original story, it's the oldest one.
It's the one. I mean, it's not just a monster story. It's the monster story.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, I don't know, probably people would argue whether or not it's the first science fiction story, too.
I think I consider it. I
think a lot of people do consider it that. I'm sure there's...
I mean, it's literally in the dictionary. Like, the term Frankenstein means to, like, juxtapose something together or, like, think beyond your means type of thing. Like, well, that's crazy.
The story was, the original novel was called Frankenstein, a Modern Prometheus, which in Greek mythology, Prometheus was the character who took the fire of the gods and tried to wield it, but then I think they strapped him to a rock to be eaten by birds to punish him.
Over and over again. Yeah. That's what man gets for trying to take God's power. And this book, she wasn't subtle about it. She puts it there. But, I mean...
Did you read the novel ever?
Yes, I did.
It's great.
I always, the copy I had this, it was, the man standing over the ocean of the fog that was on the cover.
Yeah.
It's, a famous painting where it's, the guy's back and he's standing over this ocean. Yep. And it really is a perfect painting for the whole thing that's going on, trying to control nature and stuff like that.
I remember reading the novel, and the first thing that jumped out to me about it was not only was it this monster story, but it was less about that and more about the character of Frankenstein's, he had this deep, dark secret that he couldn't really share because what he was doing was dangerous and shunned by society. But he had created this thing that was now stalking him, but he couldn't talk about it to anybody. So he was haunted and terrified by his own, his own creation, obviously, but also his imagination and his own ambitions were all coming to bite him in the ass. And it was, it was fascinating.
I mean, as you know, I have thoroughly gone into that whole area of what this all could possibly mean, and what the hell how it mirrors his own reflection, and we are gonna dive into that.
Yeah, side quest. Not many of you probably know, but Ben used to be a college professor. So he's sharpening
I have to put the energy has to go somewhere. So
it's
we're
still there. It's
have
still
a
there.
brief lecture-esque Halloween special on Frankenstein. So let's all just grab our stitching gear or whatever one might grab for Frankenstein, and let's strap in.
You're gonna need a lot of electricity too.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
So yeah, one of the first things I remember learning was that Frankenstein was not actually the name of the monster. It's the name of the scientist that created the monster.
Right.
Yeah, and it's in fact in the book there's not even an official name to the monster. It's called like Creature.
Yeah, the wretch, monstrosity. Yeah.
But from there, it's appeared in over 400 movies. I think it's estimated around like 423 different film
200
versions.
years makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and it covers all the spectrum, like gothic drama to dark comedy to straight up parody comedy,
Sci-fi, horror.
yeah,
the whole
all
thing.
of it, action, sci-fi action.
Yes.
It's
I mean,
really
it's incredible what this woman produced. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like on and on. The most famous version, though, is obviously Universal Studios' 1931 adaptation, which created all the tropes of the green skin monster with the bolts out of its neck. But actually, the Frankenstein monster first showed up in film in 1910 in a short film produced by Thomas Edison, weirdly enough.
Right. Yeah, it was like Thomas Edison's studio.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that he was in film production, but he produced some of the first films ever.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense in a weird way. But
Yeah,
like,
he also, weird fact, Thomas Edison died in 1931, the year that the Universal Studios Frankenstein was produced.
well, there's another conspiracy theory for you.
I'm sure you can cook something up on that, Ben.
But yeah, that was like, that movie was the one that kind of like condensed the tale into like
Right.
a moral warning about science.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And it was the big leap from book to screen.
Yeah.
Was that 1910 one.
A lot of the screen versions, which we'll get into later on, there's so many, and a lot of them just miss the mark completely. And I'm kind of
Yeah.
excited to see what happens with the Guillermo del Toro version that's coming out in a couple of weeks, and there's a Christian Bale version that's coming out in 2026.
Oh yeah, I saw ads for that, which
Yeah.
looks like basically a Poor Things, but Christian Bale. But
I don't know. Maggie Gyllenhaal directed it.
oh really?
Yeah, which
No,
I'm.
I don't know how. I don't like actors turned director. But anyway, that's a whole different rant. But I
Oh,
did
do
hear.
tell. Do tell.
I mean, well, no. Well, first I will say, shout out to Gutter Studies. He just saw Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein and raved about it. So I'm excited for it.
A
'cause
lot of the
Guillermo
one. It
del
looks like. I mean, it's del Toro, so it's gonna have that gothic twist to it
Toro,
aesthetically,
he's got
and like
that in the freaking spades.
I hope it works out because a lot of the gothic like films that
Right.
try to do Frankenstein just end up being really
Not a
boring.
single one has ever hit since the
Yeah.
like 1931. I think is what you're talking about with the Universal. That's the one we know. But
Yeah, that's the most classic
But ever
one.
since then, I mean, I'm like the other one I think of is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. I mean, there's the one with
There's
the
Young Frankenstein, obviously. Mel
Young
Brooks
Frankenstein,
came
but
out.
all the movies are in black and white that hold up. I mean, there's the one
Yeah.
with the guy from Split or whatever.
Oh, James McAvoy. I didn't see that one.
Me neither.
it
I'm
didn't-
not sitting through that. Nobody's got time for that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that look, that gothic look, that just doesn't.
Van Helsing, he popped
Yeah.
up. I mean, I know he might pop up in like the Swamp Thing. You know, I don't know. It's
Yeah. I'm most curious what you think of why this monster is one of the greats. What do you think it is about this idea of Frankenstein that has stuck with audiences the way that it has? And like I said, over 400 movies.
yeah, 200
And
years. Yeah.
like comic books and TV shows, and I don't know.
You know, actually, why don't we dive into Mary Shelley first? Because I think that'll explain a lot of why Frankenstein has such
Right.
gravitas.
Like where the book came from.
Yeah, because it informs like just how human it is.
Are
Oddly.
we about to get on one of Ben Marlowe's history trains?
I think it's time, John.
All right, let's do it.
I created it. I made it with my own hands from the bodies I took from graves, from the gallows, anywhere.
So the original myth of how the Frankenstein came to be In 1816, in Lake Genevieve, Switzerland, I believe.
Geneva, Lake Geneva.
Lake Geneva.
Yeah.
Thank you. During the infamous year without a summer that was caused by a volcanic eruption.
In Switzerland?
Yes.
Fascinating.
I
didn't
know,
there were
right?
volcanoes in Switzerland.
God knows where these volcanoes are. Apparently there's one underwater, you know?
Okay. All
A
right.
few, actually. But yeah, that's a different podcast.
It's even a different myth.
But Mary Shelley was married to Percy Shelley, and they hung out with this guy called Lord Byron.
Okay.
And Lord Byron is kind of famous for being this, well, he's very famous for being a British romantic poet.
Right.
And he's kind of known for like charisma.
Silver-tongued.
Yeah. And to give you like kind of an idea of like what he's like, I'll give you a quote. There are 4 questions in value in life. What is sacred, and what is the spirit made? What is worth living for, and what is worth dying for? The answer is the same, only love.
He sounds really annoying.
He probably was.
He sounds like a guy I would kick out of the bar.
He, like with that quote, I think of Moulin Rouge, you know, that whole like only love.
Yeah,
but
annoying.
But yeah. But I only know this because at one point in college, I signed up for a class that was way above my level.
Okay.
And it was just, I was trying to turn like romantic reveries, like poetry, and, you know, take that capital R and turn it into a lowercase r for the ladies, you know.
Okay.
A gross attempt, and it cost me my entire GPA.
Yep.
But yes. But Byron's actually kind of funny because he also inspired the book Vampire, which influenced Dracula. And he's also the guy who asked the ghost question that inspired Frankenstein, because that night...
Dracula's all about romance and love eternal.
But but they were all partying,
Okay.
you know, having like, you know, a little sexy time, because they were all very fluid with their sexuality. And
Right.
that was kind of like why she's already goth queen. And but yeah, during a break from sexy time, I imagine, Byron asked them all to tell a ghost story, and what they all shared that night really got her cooking, and she had a dream that inspired Frankenstein, essentially.
That's awesome.
I know, isn't that hardcore?
You have this dream of like this, and it turns into this story.
Yes, I mean, I have a quote from her. Yeah, she kind of described it as like a waking dream. I imagine a little bit toxicity influenced, but she says, quote, saw with shut eyes but acute mental vision the pale student of unhallowed arts kneeling beside the thing he had put together. I saw the hideous phantasm of a man stretched out, and then, on the working of some powerful engine, show signs of life and stir with an uneasy half-vital motion. So, yeah, you can see where she drew from that to make Frankenstein.
I mean, not only did she possibly create the first science fiction story, but she created the mad scientist trope.
She did,
which is done
everything.
over and over and over again.
She went to bed after hanging out with everyone, and then went to bed and literally created science fiction and horror. Like, unbelievable. And let's
not bad.
Yeah, let's investigate Goth Queen, just history briefly. But she was born in like a very radical household in England. Her mother, Mary Wollstonecraft, she was a pioneering feminist, like before feminism even existed, the word. She wrote A Vindication of the Rights of Women, and she died days after giving birth to Mary.
Okay.
And Mary would hang out, read her books. She was raised by her kind of anarchist philosopher father, William Godwin. And so she just was around a very like intellectual thinking.
Yeah, they were
type of
forward-thinking
place.
people in a time when that was probably not like
new, especially a lady.
encouraged.
Yeah, exactly.
At all.
And I'm sure her dad, and I know her dad was not like supportive about it, you know, and things like that. But by her late teens, that's when she became, you know, literally the original goth. She was like brilliant, romantic, sexually liberated, and like was completely unafraid to like box with these, you know, male
intellectuals,
these fucking hardcore poet dudes. Like,
Yeah.
and these guys were like the celebrities of.
Isn't
at
it
the
interesting
time.
that like back in those times, and I guess it extended, you know, into whatever the 19th century, but like being a poet had like social.
Oh, you were
backing.
a celebrity.
You were like
Yeah.
something to
You were
talk
James
about.
Franco walking around. You know, Jesus
It's
Christ.
fascinating to me because now it's like you hear somebody. Nobody talks about poetry, and you hear somebody like go on about it, and you like want to punch him in the mouth. I don't know.
I know. It's just, whatever gets the people's imagination going is what will be praised.
Yeah, and back then there was no entertainment to
And
speak
to
of.
think about what poetry could do to the brain when you first
Right.
encounter something like that and you don't have other stimulus.
Yeah, so that was like her,
Yeah.
how she cut her teeth into society was like arguing and hanging out with poets. It's amazing.
Badass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's badass.
The standards were a little different back then.
Also, like, just other fun facts about her that make her goth queen is
Yeah.
when her husband died, he drowned off in a storm off the coast of Italy or something like that. And when his body washed ashore, it was cremated. And the legend is that his heart didn't burn because it was calcified, so it became like a hard bone type of thing.
Okay.
And she carried that around with her until she died, like 67 years later or something like that.
That's not goth. That's just metal.
It is, like, it's hardcore. And, my scientific joke I wrote for that is, or she carried it around to prove his heart was made of stone.
Okay. All right.
Rum-bum-bum.
That's pretty awesome. And also a whole other cliche in itself that she started. Your heart is made of stone. Like, come on. How many songs and like that's she's
it's
probably
really
one of the baddest people ever to
it's
live.
just badass. I really
Yeah.
think she should get way more love. I'm sure she does.
So
but,
back to my question, how we got off on this tangent was why we think that Frankenstein has lasted and for so long, and like I said, over 400 movie adaptations, 200 years since the publication, is probably due in part to like the legend of Mary Shelley as a person.
right.
It's definitely tied into that, but like the idea of that monster in particular, and like for me, it's got to be like something about one's creation or one's fantasies or imagination becoming too wild and uncontrollable, because that's kind of like, if you strip it all down, that's kind of what's happening at the core of the story. I don't know. What do you think?
No, it's true, because like that's why she literally called it, the Prometheus myth,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it really is that. So like at the heart of all of the Frankenstein folklore is the warning about creation without compassion.
Right.
And I think what's happening here is like there's like Victor's failure isn't scientific, it's an emotional failure. He abandons what he brings to life, like the minute he sees it.
Yeah.
And that neglect, that very simple moment conveys Shelley's like timeless question. And one of them, like three of them, which is who is the monster, and one of them being also what happens, when ambition of man outpaces empathy, essentially.
Right.
And so the novel,
which is what we're all kind of worried about with
oh my God.
AI's.
We have literally Elon
rapid
Musk saying
growth.
the problem with everyone is empathy. I mean, it's frightening. And that's part of the reason this is
I mean, we're
so
seeing
true.
technology, like it's happening in real time. We're seeing AI and automation take over the job market and making certain fields and
absolutely.
careers totally obsolete. So like man's creation is actually rapidly outpacing it.
No, and it's ironic that like this genre and idea and story 200 years later is actually
Still relevant.
It's more relevant than ever.
Well, isn't that kind of some of the awesome stuff about sci-fi, is that it usually kind of predicts the way people are going to go? And like, I mean, Philip K. Dick was one that had, story after story, even like not only the themes that he would propose in his stories, but also like down to the devices that he would talk about.
Yeah.
The characters using. Like Mary Shelley's is obviously way more philosophical, but that's kind of what science fiction has always brought to the table, is sort of like, a little bit of like a warning sign.
yeah.
Like, hey, be careful of this,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why Mary Shelley created it. I mean, she called it Frankenstein Prometheus. I mean, so she was already like, that's why it's just a template.
A modern Prometheus, and we're talking about it in 2025. And it was
Yeah, and it
1818.
created a template like no other template has ever been created. It's actually unbelievable.
Yeah.
And to kind of speak to what you're saying, like just how it's actualized today with AI and stuff, I mean, it's like today's tech founders, they are Frankenstein. It's not subtle. They're chasing innovation without grasping the consequences, creation without accountability, and it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Another beautiful part of the horror genre is that it like took like the idea of like queerness and like made it powerful, and she did this in fucking spades.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Frankenstein novel begins with an act of unnatural birth. So it's like life created out of the mother or sex. That type of shit drives white men fucking insane. It scares the shit out of them. It's like aliens.
Or
too.
they create entire religions and get totally fanatical about it.
Yeah, and even when he's like, there's some clips from the book where he's like about to create a bride for him because that's what he asks from him eventually.
Right.
And he's like, well, if I create a woman of this, that's really when shit's gonna hit the fan. Essentially.
Wasn't that that was an '80s Frankenstein movie, Weird Science? They did exactly that.
Where they actually follow through. Well, there's the Bride of Frankenstein too, which
There's
is
the Bride
a
of Frankenstein.
huge queer icon. I mean, what they
There's
did there is really,
Frankenhooker too, is another black comedy.
well, yeah. I mean, well, that's what I mean. Literally a century later, we got James Walle's Bride of Frankenstein carried the lineage forward, transforming the whole myth into like a coded queer tragedy with like two outsiders longing for connection, destroyed for the audacity of their love, and then. I swear to God, Mary Shelley, we got Rocky Horror, and then we got Elvira. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, with that, I wanted to dive into a few more of the film versions of Frankenstein in a little good, the bad, and the ugly section of the episode.
Now, Frankenstein was interested only in human life. We must find another brain. You have created a monster and it will destroy you.
Like I said, tons of movie adaptations. There's no way we're going to be able to talk about all of them. But a couple examples of the good would obviously be the 1931 version, which set the standard for a lot of sci-fi horror movies that we see today. The mad scientist trope, bringing something back to life. Young Frankenstein, Mel Brooks, that's obviously a hit. Like, it's one that...
That's what introduced me to it. I mean, that and Abbott and Costello.
I mean, it stands out because it tried to be something really different. And again, the misses, or, the bad in this case, would be Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, 1994. Kenneth Branagh directed it. Robert De Niro's the monster. It had everything.
Robert De Niro, I forgot.
Yeah, right? It had everything it needed to be good, and it just ended up being a really boring drama. And there wasn't anything worth rewatching there,
It's really funny because even when we did our Halloween special, whatever, weeks ago, Frankenstein, though it's literally the creator of it all, it doesn't, again, like we were saying, all the classics are literally in black and white. There's no remake of it other than currently Guillermo del Toro, who's hopefully going to carry it.
Or the Christian Bale. I don't know. I have hope. I know you don't want to see Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I mean, they just keep doing the theme. I mean, that's why I always thought it was kind of like low-hanging fruit to just be poor things. I haven't even sat through that movie.
That's actually... Yeah, that's a version of Frankenstein. 100%.
Well, it's and it's so let's take the template and just redo the template. I don't know. It's in the most basic way possible.
So for the ugly, I put I, Frankenstein with Aaron Eckhart. Did you ever see this movie? It's considered one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
But again, it's almost unwatchable. But you know what? They did something really fucking different with it, which I'm all about. Even if it fails and it's bad, it's at least they didn't try to do the boring gothic thing, which was done with the Victor Frankenstein movie with James McAvoy. Mm-hmm. There was a version with Donald Sutherland, which was a TV miniseries. Again, just not interesting at all. I, Frankenstein turned all of that on its head. None of the movie makes any sense at all. Yeah. And like I said, almost unwatchable. Another candidate in the ugly category is...
I think I, Frankenstein has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's bad. Reanimator, I put in the ugly category. Mm-hmm. Only because of the gore. It's a really wild movie. I like it a lot, and I think it's a classic, actually a good version of Frankenstein. It's got heavy nods to Evil Dead with like the manic violence that's in it. It's also based on an H.P. Lovecraft story.
Right.
Yeah, which is called, the story itself is Herbert West. Reanimator is the name of the story. And Lovecraft was actually trying to write a parody or his version of Mary Shelley's story. And that's what he came up with. And it was remade in like the 80s. It takes place in modern times. Really good Frankenstein version. Other Frankenstein movies to note is the entire Hammer Frankenstein series.
Yeah, I have
look
heard
that up,
about
yeah.
that. People seem to love that. Yeah.
It's kind of it's like a whole cult thing, and it was 7 films in total. It helped start the careers of Christopher Lee, who showed up as Dracula like 1,000 times after that.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, he played the original Frankenstein monster in that series. Peter Cushing was in every one of the movies, and each one has Dr. Frankenstein creating a different monster. But really, the whole point of the story is like Dr. Frankenstein is the monster. He's like, in one movie plot, they have him like selling drugs to try to fund his experiments. And then in another, he like assaults people. He's murdering people.
That's a way to take it, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, they take it in this whole other direction. So the Hammer Frankenstein series, again, they're all aesthetically told in that like gothic setting, which doesn't really grab me. But for some reason, those movies have got a cult following. Yeah,
I'm excited for this Guillermo del Toro. Now that we talk about it more.
Nobody talks about it enough, but RoboCop. Probably the best, although not a straight retelling of Frankenstein. It is a Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's
story.
Frankenstein together for
Yeah,
sure.
like man brought
Yeah,
him
that's how
back
it's
from the
felt
dead.
about Edward Scissorhands as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess.
Well, it's a mad scientist makes him in a crazy ass gothic.
That's
thing.
funny you mentioned Tim Burton because his first short film, the way that he got in with Disney early on when he was like an illustrator for Disney, was he made Frankenweenie.
Yeah,
his first short film.
That's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
I love and even the remake that he made, like, I don't even know, but it's like fairly new. It's
Yeah,
good.
like in 2018 or
It's
something.
good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, the dog saves these people from this fucking... It's a harrowing story. It just shows you.
Again,
Worse,
I mean,
yeah.
look at like we've said throughout this episode, but Mary Shelley's creation, like hopping from 60s, 70s gothic dramas to fucking Tim Burton.
No, yeah. Well, I actually have a couple more games for us, if, just a couple more fun questions. But
Monster Squad. That's another great 1980s
I don't even...
Frankenstein movie.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, sorry, that was out of left field, but
No, I appreciate that. For some reason, then that spawned me thinking of Frankenstein DC. There's too much Frankenstein. We're not even going to deal. We're going
God.
into I've made up a game section. Let's go.
all right, let's do it.
The brain of a dead man, waiting to live again in a body I made with my own hands. With my own hands.
So, who would win in a fight? Frankenstein or Swamp Thing?
Swamp Thing.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, Frank.
The DC Frankenstein kind of ruins this conversation because he's like badass, but so is the DC Swamp Thing.
The Swamp Thing can like control the swamp.
Yeah.
He's got like alligators and shit and like
Swamp Thing's
vines, I mean, Frankenstein, yeah, he's almost like gentle giant. And
he's either a lumberjack or in the book
Yeah.
at one point he literally reads like a book or 3, like he's just he's in the woods reading,
You're gonna sneak up on the guy while he's doing his homework? Come on,
Yeah,
Swamp
and he
Thing.
just comes back like, oh, I've read, and
Yeah. Here's one in that same vein.
Yeah.
Frankenstein versus Jason Voorhees.
I mean, probably Jason Voorhees again. I mean, Frankenstein is he's just a metaphor for
just
all the
fucking can't win.
problems with humans. He's a juxtapose. It's just a mess what he is.
Yeah, keep moving.
All right, so the next one, let's try to do the old start bench cut for fun.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster, if we want to be technically correct here. Anyway, Frankenstein, RoboCop, like you said, or the Terminator.
Man, Frankenstein's just not winning at all. I'm gonna start Terminator. I'm gonna bench RoboCop. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna have to cut Frankenstein.
Think about how sad he's going to be when that happens. My God.
I mean, yeah.
I'm going to start Frankenstein because he's going to win the hearts of the crowd.
Started it all. Right?
And then Terminator, I'll bench because then when, I need him in there, he'll win the game. And RoboCop is a cop. He gets no part on my fucking bench. That fucking guy, goddamn cops, no matter
Get out of here.
what. Yeah.
A cop is a cop, right?
A cop is a cop even if you're a robo. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I feel bad for Frankenstein now. He's what, like, for me, he's 0-3.
So just to kind of go into the other ones that are kind of this, but to dive into the AI theory we talked about. Ex Machina, Megan, or Emma Stone, Poor Things.
I would start Ex Machina. I would bench Megan, I guess, and then cut Poor Things. Like, if we're trying to win here,
yeah,
Ex Machina and Megan are they're vicious, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same play.
Yeah.
Megan's gonna entertain the crowd, win the hearts. Ex Machina's worthless out there.
Interesting.
They're all just for hearts, except for Megan.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's the play. Ex Machina's the hottest one.
So where does Frankenstein fit in with that?
They're like AI, the fear of creation of man.
Yeah, I got you.
And then Poor Things, yeah, she doesn't really fit in there, but still.
Right.
All right, how about this one? Mad Scientist. Victor Frankenstein. Franken.
Yep.
Herbert West, Reanimator.
Yep.
Dr. Monroe, Island of Dr. Monroe.
Oh. Definitely starting Reanimator. Gonna bench Victor and cut Dr. Moreau.
I completely agree. Dr. Monroe is nothing but a liability.
I mean, even the way the movie was made itself.
I've watched that. I've tried over and over, and just watching it makes me feel like I'm in my grandpa's living room carpet, All right, next up.
Yep.
We got Goth Queens. Elvira. You know Elvira?
Oh, yes.
Morticia Addams. Lily Munster.
I'm surprised you didn't find a way to fit Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice in there.
She's too young to be a goth queen.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Start Elvira. Bench Morticia and cut the Munster.
100%.
Yeah.
Agree.
Right.
Okay. And now, just for fun, I'm going to put you on the cross right now. I'm going to just say things to you rapidly, and you immediately answer me. It's a one-word thing. I'm going to give you two options, and you just say it as fast as you can.
Is this, are you like really throwing curveballs at me, or is this Frankenstein based?
It's all Frankenstein based. Yes. Get you straight.
Yeah.
No, yes. All right, you ready?
Let's go.
Frankenstein, Dracula.
Oh, Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein or Bride of Chucky?
Bride of Frankenstein.
Actually, let's do something different here.
Yeah.
All right, here's this new category. I'm going to give you two options, and they're going to fight. All right?
Okay.
Frankenstein versus Dracula.
Dracula would win. I mean, he's...
That one I think Frankenstein's got.
Really? Just because he's stronger? He's got the brute strength?
What is Dracula going to do? He's going to seduce him?
He's like gonna outthink him. He can he's got hounds he can sick on him. He's got...
I picture one of those superhero scenes where there's that fast guy and he's all running around and then the guy just grabs him by the neck out of nowhere.
Okay.
You know
I
what
mean, there are
like
when we were looking at stuff to talk about with this episode, there was something I wanted to do with the Hulk. It's could Frankenstein take on the Hulk?
Well, there is a DC comic version called Frankenstein, and he's very, very powerful.
Okay.
He can't take on the Hulk. Very little people.
I mean, Frankenstein definitely influenced the Hulk. Green.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what Stan...
Yeah,
Stan Lee was definitely into Frankenstein to create.
Well, again... You can't do anything without Mary Shelley's influence.
That's crazy.
That's why she is queen.
Yeah.
Lab coat or leather jacket?
Leather jacket.
Yeah, that's going to win a fight every time.
Yeah.
That's literally science nerd versus tough guy.
Unless you're Reanimator. That dude wore a lab coat. That dude was nuts.
All right, well, how about this? Reanimation or resurrection?
Reanimation. It's like way cooler. Resurrection's got too many
Resurrection's way
biblical
cooler.
thing. Really?
Yeah, but that's what's cool. Like suddenly, are the ocean's gonna flood? Reanimator, it's like, oh my god, get your pitchforks. Fucking resurrection, people, that affects everything.
Okay.
Some guys, like I brought a corpse to life in Kansas. We'd be like, shoot that man and shoot that corpse.
You know what? I was actually curious about whether or not the story of Lazarus from the Bible. I don't know if you grew up with that. I did. So I was wondering if like Mary Shelley was influenced by that, but everything I read was like
I
no.
think it's the idea.
I mean, it had to be in there though, because she definitely grew up around those stories. So
No, it's just the idea of man playing God is
Right.
what that story is essentially.
and there's definitely versions of this story that have shown up in other cultures too that we,
Bringing people back to life. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic. That's why it also like resonates with like humans because it's like you want to be able to like forsake that natural order. You want to bring people back. It's just it's
Right.
a natural thing.
Right.
And boy, oh boy, she got that human instinct and made it accessible in a way that brings true for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
like Prometheus story and shit like that. Yeah.
Totally.
Lazarus. Yeah, I mean, the Bible's quickly, bells ringing is slowly fading. But you know what I mean? Because there's no Guillermo del Toro Lazarus coming out.
right, exactly.
Remember when Disney tried to do that when they ran out of stories? And they
No.
tried to do Moses?
Oh yeah. I do.
It was like shit.
Oh, you mean the Prince of Egypt?
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
that was
Yeah.
DreamWorks.
Oh, was it?
That was actually that's fun movie lore. That was a movie that DreamWorks was kind of betting the whole farm on because
the Bible wins every time.
they were trying hard to go up against Disney with this whole Bible epic thing, and it did not pass at all. And funny enough, Shrek was the thing that really landed it for DreamWorks.
That's funny because
and
literally
they weren't even trying with Shrek. They were just like, yeah, whatever, we'll do this CGI 3D animation thing. But they were betting
The house,
so
yeah.
much on the Prince of Egypt, and it just did not turn out to be the thing.
I swear to right at this very moment, my narrative was Disney was out of fairy tales. So they're like, fucking pick that book up. This is rich,
It's got so many fairy tales in it.
But that's even more hilarious. I know another one that like tried to box with Disney when they were in their run was Anastasia. That was like Fox's one.
Oh yeah,
Where
yeah.
she was like, yeah, I forget, but it was cool. That one is a good one.
Yeah.
That's the one. But I forget the story. Anyway, let's keep cruising. Well, honestly, that kind of sums it up for all the juice I got. I mean, I could talk Mary Shelley for hours, but we'll save that for another episode.
I think we get the idea. Yeah, I think that about does it for me as well concerning our friend old Frankenstein. Join us again next time, folks. We'll have something fun lined up for you. I hope you enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it's a little different. You
Yeah.
know, please write to us and let us know what you think about what we're doing. We're just having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a step in a different direction as far as the topic we covered, but it's all horror, it's all scary. So, yeah, have fun and be safe out there.
And keep your eyes on the skis.